to talk about breathing. This is going to set the foundation for everything else that you do in my program. The four body types are going to need the breathing techniques. And the reason why I emphasize the breathing so much is because this is what's going to ultimately allow your intercostal muscles as well as your deep core musculature. It allows those accessory muscles to work, and it really functionally needs the core muscles to activate, to contract and relax. Upon inhalation, we expand the rib cages, and upon exhalation, the rib cages kind of contract down to get all the air out of the lungs. So there's a definitive muscular activation and deactivation, or stretching and contracting. This type of synergetic muscle energy, reactive forces and contractions are going to be huge for you to kind of open up the energy channels up here in the lungs. A four-way expansion like that, and then exhalation, contraction. Okay, make sure that your pelvic floor is able to activate as well, and really get all the core musculature inside, deep within. Like if you can place your fingers right out here, right under the rib cages, when you exhale, I don't want you to be hunched down to try to get this muscles to activate or contract, but I want you to keep nice and tall posture and be able to breathe through your rib cages, like so. And upon the last exhalation breath, you should be able to palpate underneath the lowest part of your rib cage and not be able to dig your fingers in under your rib cage. It should be nice and taut. And you should actually be walking around like that in your normal activities, just to know that your core is working for you. You're not being collapsed with your gut hanging out. Okay? So let's try that a few more times. Do that about 5 times. Axial elongation, level 3. The only difference between level 1, 2, and 3 is that in level 3, we're going to do a further bend to the side and then look up toward the ceiling. So there's a slight rotation of the spine, further opening up the rib cage, okay? So inhale all the way up, same thing, right hand or left wrist, reach up, and over to the right side. Deeper stretch, and make sure that both sides of the elbows stay locked out, and look up toward the ceiling. You're still between 2 panes of glass, so don't lose that stretch on both sides of the spine. You should feel a deeper stretch in the left hip, down to the foot, and all the way up to the left side. 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Switch sides. Inhale, reach up and over to the left, keeping the elbows nice and straight and locked out. Bend as far to the side as possible, pushing the hip out to the side further. So right hip out to the right, and you're bending over to the left, pulling this right arm with the help of your left hand. And then look up toward the ceiling. It's a pretty intense stretch. And your breath tends to get a little bit shortened as you try to keep your core musculature nice and centered and engaged. And make sure you pay attention to your feet, that they stay grounded into the floor. 3 long breaths. And up. And exhale. Gather yourself. Repeat 5 times on each side. You're going to inhale your arms all the way up and And exhale all the way down. And inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down. Those of you who can, walk your hands forward. Walk your legs back. Wherever you can, push your mat down, tailbone straight up toward the ceiling, head down, keeping your spine nice and straight. Tailbone extending straight up toward the ceiling. And you're just gonna push down into the mat, neck completely relaxed. You should be having enough or equal weight on your hands and your feet. You should be feeling a nice deep stretch in the back of your calves. Breathe in and exhale. Those of you who don't have the hamstring flexibility, you might want to keep your arms soft initially, keep your knees soft, and just get in the habit of being in this position, allowing your spine to be nice and down and relaxed here. And then gently walk your feet back, keeping the knees bent. Push your arms out, still carrying even weight between the two. And then see if you can go ahead and straighten out one leg at a time. This is not this is a little bit easier than the real downward dog where you have it fully out like this. Or you might want to invest in one of those blocks. They have these yoga blocks, and then you can use those to help you to get into that pose. But I recommend not use props and just try to see if you can keep your heels up and just get your arms stretched out, keeping the knees bent, and then keeping the legs straight, and then being a little bit over your arms here, just like me, okay? Until you're able to go straight into the downward dog. And you're just gonna hold here for 15 seconds, and bring your knees down, and go again, in and out of downward dog. You can bend one straight into the downward dog. And you're just gonna hold here for 15 seconds, and bring your knees down, and go again, in and out of downward dog. You can bend one side and then the other. Try to really stretch that out. And bend and relax and go into that again. And really push down and make sure that you're not using your arms too much, but that the weight is distributed evenly between the arms and the feet. Oh, it feels so good. And then after you get through, after about 5 of those, spread your knees out, arms forward, and just stretch here like this to a baby pose. And I give you permission to completely relax. And so plank 3 is going to be, you're going to interlace your hands, put your forearm down onto the mat, be on your toes. From here, you're going to go ahead and see if you can drop your hip bones like this. Try to keep your whole spine nice and straight. You're not drawn down, you're not lifted up, you're nice and straight. And boy, my core has to work so hard, and my shoulders as well. We're going to stay in this position for 10 seconds. Rest. And repeat for 5 times. And when you're done, you're going to go ahead and stretch out into a child's pose. drawn down and back. And exhale, lead with the pelvis and really use your core muscles to scoop up your abdomen. Here, I'm pushing down with my hands, trying to get the apex of my spine to touch the ceiling almost, really scooping in through my abs. And inhale, look up, all the way up. And exhale, lead with the pelvis. Tuck that tail under. Imagine you're trying to reverse this lumbar curvature, utilizing your core muscles. Like my abs are so tight and scooped up right now. Inhale, look up, shoulders drawn down and back, look up toward the ceiling, get a real good stretch, and exhale. Do this 10 times, 4 more. Good job. And finish off into a child's pose.